It's that time again. We have spent all summer just enjoying back to back Super Bowls and everything that goes with it. That's right. We have taunted Dallas Cowboy fans. We have listened to Chicago Bears fans. And yet, we, the Kansas City Chiefs, are in the middle of a dynasty. We, it's brilliant. As we begin season 3 of the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast, we are excited to go for what has never been done in the NFL before. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a three-peat. And looking at the cast and crew that are ready to get back into battle, I think we got a damn good shot at it. Today, you might notice that it's just me, Golden Jay, and the Chief. Chico may be in and out of the pod over this season, but we're going to leave that up to him. But for right now, it is just me and the Chief, and we are the Indiana Chiefs fans. What's up, bud?
Not much. Just it was right before the podcast looking at, the 53 man cut. So I know we're gonna get into that, but things have been well. I've already made my first pilgrimage to Kansas City. Not under the best circumstances, but everything worked out.
That's what we
It
like to
was
hear.
really weird. We went to Kauffman Stadium and I'm looking across. I'm like, man, it's why aren't we walking in there, man? Come on, come
I know,
on.
right?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I mean, I was so ready when we pulled in that parking lot. I'm like, I'm ready for football. I mean, I, I I live for football.
Well,
I
we
can't wait.
we are just 2 weeks away from the opening game. You'll be out there for the Baltimore Chiefs game on Thursday night. Going to watch them drop the banner.
Oh yeah,
Or not really drop the
yet
banner as
again.
much to lift the sheet over the new banner that's there. But
Oh
um,
yeah, I'm looking forward to it 100%.
absolutely.
You know, defending two-time Super Bowl champs, hoping for that defending three-time elusive that's never happened. And what Super Bowl are we on? 48. We're going into 40 or 58, going into 59,
Going
or
into
am I off by
59.
a
Yep.
year?
Nope, you're right. We just remember last year we won 58 for 58.
Yep, for DT.
Yep.
But yeah, it'll be something that definitely differentiates Mahomes, but moreover, Reed,
Oh,
Coach
absolutely.
Andy Reed.
Yep.
Um, there was an interesting article. I don't know if it was an article or video I watched. There was a gentleman that was talking about Belichick, right?
Okay.
Belichick was great with the GOAT, the current GOAT. I give him
Yep.
that. Um, but Reed's coached multiple quarterbacks to multiple Super Bowls. Granted, he didn't win in Philly, but he coached multiple quarterbacks and they were championship type teams.
Right.
Without Tom Brady, we see what Belichick's team turned into. So I thought that was just one of those interesting factoids that they were talking about Andy Reid, that he should cement his legacy potentially above Belichick's as it stands today. But if we can cement that, three-peat, I think there's no question. But it was just an interesting fact, how many, McNabb and, I can't remember all the quarterbacks under Alex Smith even, that we were in the playoffs under Reed with Alex Smith
Right.
and all the Super Bowl. I think what they'd go to two Super Bowls in Philly. I know they lost them both, I believe, but he had championship caliber teams. So I just want to throw that out there for Coach Reed.
Well, I mean, the man is now considered. I mean, he's a legend. I mean, look what, yeah, like you said, look what he's done. Um, and look at the longevity. I mean, he spent a good uh oh man, I don't even
20,
know.
almost
I'm
20
gonna say 20
years,
years in Philly.
something like that.
Give or take a few years. I'd have to go back and actually do the math on all that. But and then coming to Kansas City, he's already been there what 12, 13 years. Um look at his draft record, with Kelsey and Mahomes and
Yep.
some of the biggest stars in the game. He drafted them, smart enough to move up to get Mahomes, crazy enough to fucking get Travis Kelsey. I don't know that Kelsey was like the premier tight end to come out of that draft. If you
Yeah.
listen to the stories that Travis and those guys talk about, all the troubles and stuff that he had in college and so on and so forth, to be able to come in, work hard, and pretty much, I mean, you think of two great tight ends in Kansas City, and you think Tony Gonzalez and Travis Kelsey, and Travis may be, as much as I love Tony, and as great as I think Tony is and was, I think maybe Travis is just a little bit better as far as number wise and so on and so forth. And of course, he's uh he's dating Taylor Swift. So I don't remember
So,
Gonzalez ever dating a pop superstar.
but it's kind of funny you say that. I think it was just a farce, and I never went back and looked. But there was a Facebook post where someone was showing a clip of Madden, and when Travis scored the touchdown, it panned over, and Taylor was up there dancing.
In the Madden
I don't.
game.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I just thought it was funny. I was gonna Google it. I'm pretty sure it's a farce because almost everything they post about Taylor
Right.
Swift and Travis is a lie. But I was gonna say if they really put that in there, I was gonna be like, wow.
That's
Are all
insane.
the Swifties gonna all of a sudden become Madden fans and
Oh
they're
yeah,
gonna
though.
sell 500 million more copies? I mean,
It,
whoever put that out there, I give them kudos, but it was funny.
Absolutely. That's exactly why they put it out there. They're trying to get all the Swifties to run out and buy it because it's like, holy fuck, Taylor Swift's in Madden. Okay, we need to own this.
Yeah,
And
she's in a video game now. Wow. So just another little funny that I came across recently, and I thought
Oh.
it was great.
I got a text earlier today that said, did Travis Kelsey really buy a racehorse? Let me see if I can find this. Let me see. Have you heard this?
And no, it's probably there's so much stuff going out there by all these
The
bots.
text says, what the fuck? Travis Kelsey buys a racehorse called Swift Delivery.
I
So I don't know. I didn't look it up and see if it's true or not. But
yeah,
my
I'm
reply
not.
was, if the horse talks to you, you must jump on the opportunity.
Oh, that's
You've
funny.
got to go for it. But yeah, I got a text earlier today for that.
So I
Um,
mean, all this leads up to one thing. It's lonely at the top, and people have nothing but to either mock us
oh,
or do
absolutely.
parody against us, and I laugh at it. I think it's great. On the off season. Don't get me wrong. During the season, I might be a little more animated, but the off season gives me something to laugh about. As you and I talked, I left a couple of groups
Yeah,
due
me too.
to a lot of misinformation, and poor admin management of their site that had,
Absolutely.
60,000, 100,000 people in it. And
Yeah,
they let all this bullshit get posted and they don't take it down. So,
right. I agree. I left them. I just got tired of looking at it. I got tired of seeing it. And it's like, Andy Reid calls it quits, or,
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is, what was the other one? I think Andy Reid gets caught with Patrick Mahomes' wife, or I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like so stupid, and you're just like, okay, I'm done. And I did. I like it like you. I
Yeah.
left the groups. I'm like, fuck this. I did not have time to look at this shit. And
Yeah.
the
Yep.
Swift and Kelsey thing is dominant on these sites with all these, false rumors and shit like that. And it's just insane, but it is what it is. I mean, you're talking about two extremely high profile people that are together, and
Mm-hmm.
honestly, man, we're creeping up on a year of them dating, and they still seem to be going strong. So kudos
Yep.
to them, man. I'm excited for them. I hope they're happy together. They seem to be, and maybe you'll bump into her at one of the games. You never know.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm surprised she didn't enter the draft.
She'd have went number one. She'd have been number one. I read one today. It's
Speak.
like Clark Hunt bans Taylor Swift from
Oh
Arrowhead
yeah,
Stadium.
I,
She's too
I've
much of
seen
a
that one.
distraction.
I've
Like
seen that one.
shit.
But
Clark Hunt ain't
speaking of
banning
draft,
her. She sells tickets. I mean,
yeah, speaking of draft picks, who was it? Minnesota's is it Minnesota's quarterback that's already out for the
yeah,
season? Their first round pick.
he got hurt in the preseason somewhere along the line there.
Yeah,
I don't know
and
how long
you're
he's out, but I
the
did see
year
that.
he had thought it was a simple shoulder injury or
Yeah,
rotator cuff, we'll call it
right.
injury, but to my knowledge, he's out for the year already.
For the
So
entire
too bad for
oh,
that. Yeah, too bad for that organization. Losing or not losing. Letting Kirk Cousins get away. Big mistake in my opinion, but again, it's the nature of the football. I mean, Aaron Rodgers came out for what 30
four plays.
seconds at
Four
best.
plays. I think he was in for four plays. So
Yeah. My gosh, it's just horrible. But that's just some news, newsworthy news, I
yep,
guess, for lack of a better
exactly.
word.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's part of it's part like I said, part of the game, and this is part of the news, and it'll be fun to see what they end up doing in Minnesota. I think it was a giant mistake for them to let Kirk Cousins go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think he did a lot of great things for that organization, and then they just kind of tossed him to the side when they thought they were going to get such an amazing quarterback out of the draft. And this is the problem with running these quarterbacks fresh out of the draft into full blown NFL situations. I'll follow this. I'll fall on this I'll die on this hill. How's that? You got that, Colton? I will die on this hill. But I still think leaving Mahomes behind Alex Smith for a season is one of the best things that they could have ever done, and not just thrown him in there and said, "Okay, go learn how to play." And
Right.
he learned from a very very good quarterback on on the NFL and the situational football that goes with it. And look what it's done in the end. I'm not taking anything from Patrick, man. Patrick's a smart football player, but to set behind a veteran for at least a season, I don't know why Minnesota
Yeah.
didn't do that.
Money,
Yeah,
greed. I don't know. Who knows?
it's always about money. You know that. It's always about the money. It's always about
Speaking
the
of
money,
which,
money, money.
Hollywood's down to what, at least week 2 or 3 already.
I heard he was out six.
Oh, 6 weeks. Okay.
But I don't know for sure how long for sure that's going to be. I think that's a big reason why they went out and got Juju and picked him up for a song and a prayer coming out of New England.
New England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which once again makes my helmet relevant again. Because I
Did
do
he keep
believe
the
he
same
donned the number
number?
9. Yep, he got the number 9 back.
Okay.
So
I was gonna say if he didn't, I was gonna laugh. I was like, your helmet's not relevant anymore.
no, that rugby player was running the number 9, and I guess as soon as Juju
Hmm.
came back, he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna run 49. You can have your 9 back."
Well, they released him right
Yeah,
now.
I know. We'll get to that in a little
I'm
bit. Yeah,
hoping. Well, yeah.
yeah. Well, let's talk about that here in just a little bit. So, actually, let's go ahead and get started, and let's talk about Kansas City's 2024 draft picks. And I didn't go into like big deep dive like we've done in the past. I just kind of want to run through them, kind of get your idea on what you think of them. And we will look a little bit later to see if they actually held on to. I know that they kept. I'm looking at.
The full list is out.
Yes. Yes. I read the list. I read the
Oh,
53
okay.
man roster. I'm just looking at this list of draft picks, and I think their first three are actually still on, have made the 53. So uh I'm not sure about the other four, but let's walk through it real quick. So our number one pick, which was 28th overall, we picked up wide receiver Xavier Worthy from Texas, which, if I'm not mistaken, had the fastest time in the combine, even like
Yep,
just a point second faster than Tyreek's time.
that is correct.
So here we go, man. We got speed again on this team. I mean, we thought we had it with Hardman. I don't know that we got quite got the speed with Hardman after Tyreek left. And Justin Ross came along, and then Justin Watson was there, and I don't know that they really picked up any of that speed. But here we go. We go to draft out this wide receiver who can yeah, the dude can fly apparently. Have you
Yeah,
what's your
he's
take on
fast.
him? I have not let me start off by saying I have not been able to watch the preseason. I caught some highlights from the Bears game. And I have some concerns about our secondary and in some of that, but I mean it's preseason. You know, it's everybody's buying for a job. It's a lot of second, third, and fourth
Yep.
string people playing. So but you know, Caleb Williams just totally schooled Patrick Mahomes in that game. So
Oh yeah, according to all the pundits, yeah, the season's over. This guy's so much better.
so
Okay,
much
people.
better. Hey, neither one of them fucking played, people. Give it a rest. Hey,
Yeah.
you want my hot take on that?
Shoot.
I think Williams is going to be a bust.
Well, all the Bears fans have their hopes up high again, and I keep telling them I don't think they did anything to address the line, so I don't care who's back there.
Right.
But anyway,
Well,
my
they
take
add all
on
those wide receivers, and that's supposed to fix
yeah,
everything. But yeah,
but my take on it is, is it the second coming of the cheetah? I don't know. That's to be seen. Is he as fast as him? Of course he is. But let's see how he plays. He's slightly smaller than the cheetah was, but size has nothing to do with ability.
right.
And that was always the knock on him was size. But you have Edelman, right, who's like
Oh yeah,
5'9",
yep.
or I mean, there's players out there that make it in the NFL, and that's what we got to see. Is he durable? Can he do it? And he's got the speed, so I'm not worried about that. That's my take on it.
We need to get him in a real game situation. You're going to see it in Baltimore, and you're going to see a lot of it in Baltimore because Baltimore is a damn good team. Um, you know, with especially the add-ons with their running back. Fuck, I can't think of
Hunter Henry.
no the running back that they picked up from Tennessee.
I thought it was Hunter
Henry.
Henry for some reason.
It's not Hunter. It's not Hunter
Or
Henry. It is
Henry,
Henry.
whatever his
Yeah,
name. Yeah,
yeah.
Henry something.
We're real knowledgeable here.
Hey man, like we
Derek is
say,
Derek Henry. Derek Henry.
yeah,
Yeah.
we do this on the fly, people. We
We do
we
have
don't
some
spend
information. We don't spend weeks and weeks in this shit. Um,
we got real stuff to do all
yeah,
day.
weird. Um, so I think you're going to see how fast he's going to learn actual situational football, you know, and learning the routes and getting all that stuff into play, and then we'll see how great he's going to be. Tyreek was amazing at running the route, getting ahead of the other, yeah, you know, whether it be the safety or the corner, getting
Yeah,
ahead of them, and then Pat being able to put it on the numbers, and we had with Tyreek something we missed out on last year, and somebody who could catch a fucking football. And, you know, Tyreek could catch a ball and he could catch the ball at full speed. And let's hope that that Worthy is going to, you know, hold up to that standard of what the Cheetah did while he was in Kansas City.
and again, yeah, that's I don't think we can hold them to the same standards. They're different players, but
Oh yeah. But I
as
mean,
long as he's
this is what we
durable,
want.
depending, and can catch.
Yeah.
Last year I think we led the league in drop passes, if I'm not wrong. If not, it felt like we were in the lead.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see. I don't want to see that this year. Let's not stumble into the playoffs and then find our mojo. Let's have a season where we get the mojo. Pretty much going the entire season.
Let's hope so. All right. So that's our second pick in the second round was at number 63 was tackle Kingsley Samataya from BYU. Once again, I don't know much about him. He's a tackle.
Yeah, I didn't follow any of his preseason stuff, to
Right.
be honest. But if anything, it gives us depth. At the O line, which we need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dependable, good players. So
yeah, I think after that Tampa Bay Super Bowl, when we had no depth and our line was completely
yeah,
trashed, I think that was something that they looked at and said we need to make sure that we have decent players that back up our good players, and that won't falter along the way. So going out and getting somebody like Kingsley is probably a wise choice. Get him trained up
Yeah.
and get behind the
Hmm.
veterans and go from there. Fourth round pick, one at 131. We took tight end Jared Wiley from TCU. And the reports I heard from this guy was he was very Kelsey-esque, kind of the same style and the same kind of play. So I'm looking forward to him being out there with Travis and learning, how Travis plays, and maybe that could roll over to whenever, hopefully in a few years when Travis retires and we don't
Well,
have
it's
that anymore.
interesting because we just picked up another tight end.
Who do we pick up? I read it. I can't remember.
We got him from Dallas. What's his darn name? Hold on, give me 1 second. I had everything up, but then my computer, I had to reboot it. I had all this stuff up and ready, and tight end Peyton Hendershot,
Ah, yep, I did hear about that. Yep,
which they said he was going to be released anyway. We gave up hardly any draft capital for him,
right.
but someone thought highly enough to bring him in. So I don't know how many tight ends we're going to have on the active roster, but that's
Well, we should
there's three right there.
we should be able to talk about that here as soon as we finish out these draft picks. We'll move over to the 53-man roster. But moving on, we picked up in the fourth round at 133. So we had a couple close picks there together, 131 and 133. But we picked up safety Jaden Hicks from Washington State. Once again, not a name that's been thrown around a lot. So I'm like I said, I can't remember. I think these final four here, I'm pretty sure that Xavier Kingsley and Jared Wiley all made the 53. But
Yeah, I don't see him on the cut list.
yeah,
So,
don't see Jaden
but
Hicks on the cut list.
nope,
Right on.
do not. But I will say, and I don't know how much he played in that Chicago Bears game, but like you said earlier, even though they're second, third, fourth stringers, our defense was pretty horrific that game for those looking for a job. But not sure if he played too much in that or if he did or not.
You would think that anybody coming off the draft would be prime real estate to stay in and get some work.
But we
Yeah,
do need help at that in the backfield. I mean,
absolutely.
we definitely need help.
With the loss of Sneed, it's just gonna I mean, I know Sneed was a corner, right? But and
He was
Hicks is a
versatile though.
safety, but man, it hurt so bad to watch
Yeah, that's
Sneed go.
that's that's the downside of being a good team. You're losing good players, but in Beach we trust, right?
Oh, absolutely.
He's given us replacement players that were decent, not exact quality, but decent enough. And they learned on the fly that they became good.
Right,
So we're not big splashy free agency team anymore. We built through the draft
right.
primarily. I mean, yeah, we'll get one or two players, but you're not going to see the Chiefs, not that I can remember recently, go in free agency and pay 80 million for a player. So
Right. Yeah, I mean, look at all the ones that we've had the opportunity to go after over the last few years, and it's just like everything kind of, Odell was one of them that we had an opportunity to pick up, and it's once again, Veach is like, for a veteran player, yeah, I understand why you want it, but you're not doing what you used to do, and that's a bit
yeah.
much, and we ain't going to spend that much on our cap. So
And
it's
speaking of cap, I checked yesterday. We're at 15 million and some change
we're still
yesterday
at 15.
in cap space. So I think we're in decent shape. Should we need to go get somebody, once the dust settles,
Right.
before the season starts, there's some room there, to potentially land someone that the Chiefs think has some, juice left in the tank, or it's just someone that's a good player for for the amount of money that we
Right.
have in our cap, because you never want to spend it all, because you never know when you're gonna have to trade
Oh,
someone if someone
absolutely.
goes down. But um,
Absolutely.
go ahead. I just want to throw that out there because I'm one of those weird people that follow over the cap .com.
I just been listening and paying attention, and it's been running about 15. About 15 is what we had left for
Yep.
quite a while now. So, all right. So, moving on, number five pick at 159. Looks like is that center? Is that a center? Hunter Nazad from Penn State. Um, like I said, didn't do a deep dive into these guys, so I don't know a ton about them coming into this, but um,
Yeah, I don't know much about that gentleman because he's not on my radar.
right, right.
Excuse me. What was his name again?
Oh, well, it was Hunter
Okay. I
Nurzad.
was just checking the cut list. So
Yeah, that's what I keep bouncing back and forth here. So I
no,
don't
we're good.
see I don't see him on the active roster. So then we move on to our sixth at 211. It was a cornerback, Camille Hayden from Tennessee. Um,
Bye bye.
I didn't think he made it.
He did
Nope.
not.
Yep. And number seven at 248, we picked up guard CJ Hansen from Holy Cross. Is that Holy Cross, our Holy Cross up here by South Bend?
I don't know. I think we'd have to Google it. But I don't see him on the cut list. So
Really?
what was it?
Uh,
One more time, the name?
hold on. I got to go back because I clicked on Holy Cross to see where it was. CJ Hansen,
Yeah,
guard from Holy Cross.
yeah.
Be interesting
He's
to see.
still there.
All right.
He's still there.
All right, nice little backup. So there you go. There's our seven. Was that seven? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. There you go. That's our seven picks in the draft. Um, from just the little bit that I know about those guys, I think once again, Beach and Andy Reid did a good job in drafting. We definitely need those centers and those corners,
Hmm.
or those safeties in those corners, and I think that's where we needed to build some depth. Um, replacing Snead is going to be impossible in my mind. I think we got McDuffie, and McDuffie is really, really good. But that duo, him and Snead, just
Yeah.
I didn't worry about anything in that deep ball, and because those guys were there. And look what Snead did in that Baltimore game. I mean, not reacting to the taunting call and then getting the forced fumble on the goal line. I mean,
Yeah, that was
unbelievable.
badass.
Yeah, unbelievable. The guy's an unbelievable player, and I hate to see him go. But like you said, it's all about money,
Yep.
and if he was upset, if he's upset that he got released, then he should have just said, "I want to stay to play. I don't need to stay to get paid." Or I keep waiting for Chris Jones to say something about it. It's like, well, you could have taken a little bit less, so we could have kept him. These are the things that I think of when I'm just driving around going, if Chris Jones would have taken about $4 or $5 million less, we could have kept Snead. I'm sure of it, but
Yeah. These are my favorite things.
all right, man, you ready to get into this 53-man roster?
Let's rock and
Let's
roll.
do this thing. All right. Well, let's start off with we're only keeping two quarterbacks. They released Patrick Mahomes. They're keeping Book and Wentz. I'm just fucking kidding. We're not letting fucking Patrick Mahomes go anywhere. You guys can suck it. Nobody can have him. He's ours. That's right. You keep your Caleb Williams and your fucking Mac Jones, and you keep them. Um,
You're such a
um,
nerd.
that's right. We did keep Patrick Mahomes and Carson Wentz. I think I feel better about Carson Wentz being in Kansas City than who we had last year. And unfortunately, his name has escaped me. But I mean, he was a veteran, but I never had faith in him. You can't come off of oh man. I got sick brain. So um who was our quarterback? Not last year, but the year before. I mean,
Dude, that's too far back.
I know, right? But you always trusted him. You always knew when he come in, he was going to take care of business. And I feel Carson Wentz is a great backup quarterback. I don't think he's a starting quarterback anymore. I think that day has passed, but I think he is a great backup quarterback who can come in a situation and take care of business if we need to, and we hope that he never has to.
Yep. There's a lot of folks that follow your train of thought. As you know, I listen to, Sirius XM radio all the time. And a caller called in, I think he was a Minnesota fan, about, losing their first round pick
Right, right,
and how they had no backup quarterback, basically. And they're like, well, look at the Chiefs. They went out and got Carson Wentz. I trust Carson Wentz to go out there and win,
right.
games for the Chiefs. The Chiefs did. I mean, basically, they went on a little rant and said, you got to spend money you know, to get a decent backup. You can't cheap out on that.
No, you shouldn't.
And Carson Wentz is welcome in Kansas City. He might get a ring finally, this year. But he's a decent player. I trust him. If God forbid, Patrick Mahomes has the flu or something, you know what I mean? Anything, that he could step in and play well.
Carson doesn't have one from Philly when they won.
Oh, maybe
I
he
was
does.
I was thinking he was there and he got hurt, and Nick Foles come in and took care of business.
Yeah, you might be right, but anyway,
Last
nonetheless,
last
we
year's
pay good money.
yeah, last year's backup quarterback was Blaine Gabbert. By the
Mm,
way, that's like I said, I couldn't remember his name. I can't remember the guy before him, but I know that we had a lot of respect for him. He was great for us, and he definitely took over when we needed him to take over.
yeah,
The
and
kneecap scenario.
they were they were even discussing, if someone would approach the Chiefs, to get Carson Wentz from us, that Veach would tell them to go pound sand, you know, because I mean, honest, could he go play in Minnesota? Yeah,
Oh yeah, and he gets yeah.
he could probably be a decent quarterback there, but the Chiefs aren't going to let him go,
No,
because you got to think of who do we go get? Who was that guy we got off the couch in the playoff game when Mahomes got hurt and he won a game for us? I mean,
yeah,
my God,
yeah.
you don't want that type of scenario. But like you said, I think it's good. I trust Carson, to win us. Let's just say you had to play a month to win us 2-2 or 3 or 4,
Right.
3 out of 4.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that he is he knows enough of the Andy Reid style system that I don't think it's going to be an issue. So, all right, there's your quarterbacks. The Kansas City Chiefs 2024 quarterbacks Patrick Mahomes, Carson Wentz. Let's move on. Running backs that made the roster. Absolutely Isaiah Pacheco, the man.
Yep.
Run angry, ladies and gentlemen, run angry. Love to watch that guy get a hold of the ball and just start plowing through people, and he just churns and burns. Um, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which I think, I mean, this is, I wouldn't have not guessed this. I thought for sure that he was going to be released and would not be around, but they kept him on. Clyde must have proved enough stuff in camp and preseason that they said they trusted him to stick around. So, and the third running back on this list is an undrafted free agent. I'm not even sure what college he came out of, but he has just landed in the middle of Arrowhead Stadium and put a giant fucking crater in this place, and people are loving him. And if you haven't seen the highlights from from the Bears game, I believe it was the Bears game.
Every game.
Like I said, I just saw the highlights mainly from the Bears game of his touchdown and some of his runs. But Carson Steele, this is a name that you probably ought to get used to hearing. So I think they're going to utilize him a little bit more as a fullback, but he is on the running back list. So
And for those of you that don't know,
he owns an alligator.
yeah, he has a pretty large pet alligator. So my wife found that to be rather amusing, and
Mhm.
they showed a picture of him just holding them up. It's like,
Did
all right,
did
don't get bit.
she get a little hot and bothered by that? She's think that's pretty sexy.
Oh, she just thought it was cool that he had an alligator for a pet. I was like,
Did you tell her that she could have one too? It'd be all right. You get her one, wouldn't you?
no,
You get her one.
no,
It'd be fine.
no.
Get her an alligator for.
That,
Come on, come on, Phil.
the kids would get bit to death.
But yeah, Carson Steele. I think pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. I think you're going to hear his name a lot. He might even slide into that number two spot behind Pacheco. They might even just do double duty the way that those two boys run. Um, and hopefully, with having this lineup in the running back core, we will get to actually see more runs than throws. And
It
yeah,
gotta happen.
it's I know it's Andy, but I'm hoping that he mixes it up a little bit more. So looking forward to
Yeah.
that. All right, let's get into this fucking thing, man. This is where the last couple years our controversy has really fucking been kind of up and down. This is the wide receiver core. We held
Huh.
7 wide receivers, which include Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Justin Watson, Sky Moore, and McCole Hardman.
So I just have one comment.
Juju Smith-Schuster. That's not it.
Why in the F do we keep Sky Moore, for the love of God? He did nothing last year. He did nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Get rid of the guy.
I can't argue with you, man. I can't argue with you about
That's
that.
my only comment.
Yeah.
The other guys, whatever. I have nothing, negative really to say too much, but why Sky Moore? Why is he still here?
It's
Don't get
simple.
it.
It's simple. It's simple. It's 100% simple. Sky Moore is still riding on a rookie contract. So
Yeah,
he's
well, rookies
he's
almost cost us games so many
it's true.
times.
That's true. But the money that they're spending for him and he's catching the ball about what, 50% of the
Once a
time.
game, once a game for 4 yards, 2 yards,
Maybe that's
and
worth it.
God forbid they put him back to catch the kickoffs. I'll
No.
lose my mind again.
With this, Sky Moore is a big question mark. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Um, Rasheed Rice and all of his legal troubles at this point. It'll be interesting to see if any of that's going to come down this year or whether it's going to come down next year. But I almost guarantee there's going to be some sort of suspension for him at some point.
Yeah,
Xavier Worthy.
big dummy.
Big dummy. Xavier Worthy, I mean, I'm getting conflicting comments out of training camp. Taken for what they are. Everything that I've seen, he looked really good. He can catch the ball. But I hear there's been a little bit of troublesome stuff, but he's a rookie. What do you want? He's not going to be 100% coming straight out the fucking gate. So, Hollywood Brown, I do believe he's out anywhere between 2 and 6 weeks with his shoulder injury. Um,
So here's how it plays out, right? NFL script wise. Rasheed Rice gets suspended week 6 through 10, right when Hollywood Brown
Brown
comes
comes
back.
back. There you go.
So I'm never a conspiracy theorist, but man, just mark it down in this podcast. I said
There you go. Uh,
it.
so yeah, Hollywood's out for up to 6 weeks, I believe, with that injury he took in the preseason game, which is why I think they went out and got Juju and brought him back. He's already familiar with the system. He can just lock and click right in. I know that we talked about, he really didn't do anything after he left Kansas City in New England, but I don't blame Juju for that. I blame New England for that. I
The
don't think that,
coaching, yeah.
yeah. So it'll be good to have him back. Those slant routes and stuff that he runs so well for those short yards, the 5 to 10 yards, for a first down or whatever, I think is super important.
Mm.
And man, I've always been a Juju fan, even when he was in Pittsburgh. I don't know what it is about him, but I'm so happy he's back, and it just makes my helmet relevant again. Look at that.
Yeah,
Of course,
well,
they kept Justin Watson, which I think he's a solid. I mean, I think he's a solid
dude,
wide receiver.
how many awesome plays did he make last year
It's
out of
true.
nowhere? I mean,
100%.
receivers are dropping the ball left and right. He seemed to be pretty damn dependable. Obviously wasn't targeted, but when he got his chances, he was getting 15, 20-yard
Yep.
passes for us.
And he was
You
going up
know,
he was going up in between two and three defenders to go get those fucking passes. So, I
yeah.
mean, he did have his drops. I'm not going to sit here and say he was perfect
But
100% of the time, but
I liked him.
yeah, I do too. I do too. I'm glad they kept him. Of course, Sky Moore. We've already talked about Sky. And McCole Hardman. I mean, why not? I mean, we brought him back last year. He helped us win the Super Bowl on a great route into the end zone. He's probably not making very much money to be there. And
so
he's
so
a threat.
I have to yeah, I have to say it one last time, man. If you're playing in the NFL, know the fucking overtime rules. Thank you very much. That
Uh,
never gets old, man. I've watched that clip of Mahomes when they say they want the ball, and you just see his eyes like, "What?
yeah.
They just took the ball?" I mean, I've watched that. Sorry, I know we're going to the team, but man, I just think Hardman making that overtime touchdown and sealing the win for us. So
Right. Um, of course,
or
as many of you know, MBS is gone. And
bye bye.
I noticed on this list that there's no Tony on there. Yeah, Tony was
No,
cut.
Tony. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye
Fuck
now.
you. Yeah, I mean, come on. I would have cut him mid-season if I was a coach.
Yeah, listen, it just was, yeah, he needed to go. So there you have it. All right, let's move on. We're keeping four tight ends. Obviously,
That's insane.
it's a lot, but Andy Reid is a tight end coach by trade, so he always seems to be tight end heavy. But when you got this much talent with Travis Kelce, Noah
Yeah,
Gray, Peyton Hendershot, and Jared Wiley, which Wiley is the rookie coming in, they think is going to be the next Travis Kelce. So,
yeah.
or similar to, but um, Blake Bell being gone, that does kind of suck. He was really good, but hopefully Pendergast or Hendershot. What a Pendergast. What the fuck did Pendergast come from?
I have no
Uh,
idea, dude.
oh my god.
I think you're thinking Henders.
Yeah, well, I saw
Yeah,
Peyton and I was thinking Pendergrass. Yeah. Anyways, Hendershot coming in from the Cowboys. Hopefully he can lock into that system decently right out the bat, and we can see these four tight ends just tear it the fuck up. Yeah.
sweet.
All right, man. We're moving on to the offensive line. We're just gonna scan through these guys. Offensive line include Kingsley Samaritata, Joe Tooney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Phil's all-time favorite lineman, Jawan Taylor, Mike Caliando, Wayne Morris, Hunter Nazad, Ethan Diskel, and CJ Hansen. So Hunter and CJ, you both know, are rookies. So
And
there you go.
kudos to the Chiefs for signing Creed to a long-term contract.
Absolutely.
I mean, the guy's a beast.
Yeah, yeah, he's been amazing. He's been amazing. I mean, I wouldn't lie, it would have been cool to have Jason Kelsey as a chief for a few years, but
At
uh, you
least
know,
one.
yeah, Creed Humphrey, damn straight, man. We're happy to have him on board, and he has been amazing. And to top it all off, he is a team leader out there on the field. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, congrats to Creed and congrats to the Chiefs Kingdom for landing him for a while. What was the terms on his agreement? I didn't check it.
Okay. I think it was a 4 year or something. He's like
Right
the
on.
highest paid. He's the highest paid center, I believe.
Good deal. He needs to be.
So
You got to protect Mahomes. All right, moving on. We're going to go into defensive linemen. It looks like we kept nine of them, which include Furious George Kalafis, Mike Dana, Chris Jones, Derek Noddy, uh, Felix Azuma. I'm not going for a second name. Cam Thomas, Mike Purnell, Turk Wharton, and Malik Herring. I mean, these are all guys who are coming back from last year, with maybe the exception of Cam Thomas. I don't remember Cam Thomas from last year, but
I don't either.
um, as I'm reading down through some of this stuff. Yes, we went out and we spent the big money to bring Chris Jones back. I just hope that it's not a big contract jinx like you see in so many of those guys who
Well,
finally get paid and then end up getting
tell you what,
damaged.
he played his ass off. Playoffs and Super Bowl. I mean, he earned his money. As
Absolutely.
much as I bitched about it, and he should have been a friendly team and kept playing until his contract was resolved. I was pissed about that last year, but in the end, yeah, he earned his money. I
He
give
did.
him that.
He did for sure. So it's good to have Chris back anchoring that one side, George on the other side. I mean,
Yeah,
we got a great defensive line right there. And then, of course, you got into your five linebackers we kept with Nick Bolton, Drew Tranquil, Leo Chanel, Jack Cochran, and Cam Jones. Once again, a solid linebacker core. We are going to miss, we are going to miss Willie Gay, that's for sure. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Um, and for somebody who never wants to be on my podcast, she sure shoved her face in that camera, doesn't she?
yeah. She's got her
She's got a royal
Royals
shirt
gear
on.
on.
Yep. She's very proud. Very proud.
Yeah,
Um,
we were, and the reason is we were just at a game last Saturday,
right.
and it was awesome, or Friday, whatever the hell day it was. So what?
Um,
Hey, it wasn't enough to spend all that money at the Chiefs, fan store.
you
We
love
then
your
had to go to
Chiefs.
Rally House and buy Royals
By
gear.
royal shit. Yeah. Here's
So
here's to being a Kansas City loyalist, man.
through that. Hey, Jeremy,
Um,
I'll be right back in one sec,
all
but
right.
keep going. I'm just gonna shut this off for a sec.
Oh, eh.
I'm listening.
Oh, he's listening. Yeah.
I need to run real fast.
Oh, I've never seen Phil run real fast in my entire life. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But
Hey,
yeah, so that your linebacker core, I mean, with Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquil. Drew Tranquil was a monster last year. Uh, he did great things. And, adding in Leo Chanel, I think Leo's coming into his third year. So I think he's just starting to come into his own. I think he's going to be another amazing linebacker for Kansas City. Cochran and Jones, Cam Jones. I mean, you got depth in all of that. So very, very excited about that linebacker core. Um, and Nick Bolton is once again another great leader on that defensive team. All right, it's getting into the corners. We're gonna go. We got six of them that made the roster, which include, and let me tell you how excited I am about that. We got Trent McDuffie, Nazeen Johnson, Jalen Watson, Joshua Williams, Christopher Roland Wallace, and my guy coming into his second year, coming out of the university known as Ball State, Nick Jones is made the 53-man roster. Super excited that a Ball State alum is still in Kansas City, and can't wait to see what he's going to do. But, we did lose L'Jarius Sneed in the offseason. So we need these guys. And Jalen Watson did an amazing job. Joshua Williams did an amazing job last year for us. Nazee Johnson, I remember hearing his name a lot. So looking forward to seeing what those guys are going to do in that secondary. But that's where a lot of our fallout has been over the years. That's always been where my biggest concern is these corners and these safeties are not doing solid cover, and we're looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. So there's your corners: McDuffie, Johnson, Watson, Williams, Wallace, and Nick Jones, baby, Ball State alum. Hell to the yeah. All right, moving on. We had four safeties we kept on the roster, which include they're powerhouses. All of these guys are powerhouses. Justin Reed, Brian Cook. I'm so happy Brian Cook's back. He took that injury last year, put him out for the rest of the season. The man is an amazing safety, and I'm happy to have him back. Jaden Hicks and Kamari Connor, all of them big names, except Jaden Hicks. He's a rookie, but the other three, you heard all about them last year. They did amazing. They did amazing work, and just super excited for that. They did let Dion Bush go. Um, so we'll see what Spags has in mind for this Jaden Hicks as far as all that. I like Dion Bush. I wasn't a huge fan of his as far as some of his coverage and stuff. He always seems to kind of let that guy squeak through, but he wasn't horrible. He always seemed to be kind of in the mix for all of that. So yeah, there you have it. All right. And finally, we're gonna
All right,
get
I'm
into
back.
he's turn your camera on. And finally, we're
Oh
getting
shit.
into our specialists. The specialist, and that includes James Winchester, who is a long snapper. We did let Tommy Townsend go and replaced him with Matt Azare, which, from what I can see, Matt has done a pretty good job so far in some of the preseason stuff that I've seen. But this, we have kept our pride and joy, the
Right.
man, Harrison Butker,
Butt kicker.
the butt kicker, always in a clinch. And we gave him a giant fucking contract once again.
Yeah.
Signed him long term. We want to keep him there. And I
I
am,
believe he's the highest paid kicker
yeah,
or uh, kicker in the league.
yeah. Well, and what I really loved about it was that Kansas City stood behind him during all that controversy after his big speech at the crew at the what is it, the Christian college or the
Dude,
Catholic school, at the Catholic college, where all
so I
all
got
that
one thing
shit
that
that he took.
yeah, I got a thing to say. You know what? You don't live his life. You don't know what his values are. Lead your own life and criticize your own life.
That's right. Look in the fucking mirror, people.
Yeah, I
If
mean, for the
anybody
love
ever
of
listens
God, that
to,
got so blown out of proportion. It was ridiculous. I mean, my God. And I tell you what, America showed up. His jersey sold out
yep,
that exact same day. So all
yep,
the naysayers, they got something negative to say. Like Jeremy said, go look in the mirror. Go look
yep,
at your life.
yep. And if
All
anybody
right,
listen to
I'm
Golden
done.
80s podcast, you'll hear my giant rant about that because I totally went off on it a week or so after all this kind of boiled out, and it was all bullshit. I was so pissed. Not at what Butker said. I mean, he was at a Catholic school giving a Catholic speech, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But the
Yep.
people that jumped on the fucking behind their keyboards and their liquid fucking courage and get out there and just start bashing this guy, and how it just pissed me off. And so I ranted on Golden 80s. So you can go back and check it out. I don't know
Or
what episode it was. It was
well,
somewhere in there.
kudos.
So yeah, there you go. There's your 53 man roster. I think it's solid, Phil. I think it's good.
I think we're in a better position this year than we were last year.
Yeah,
To be honest, last year we were all, yeah, we're going to be so great. We're going to do this. And then, we saw all of the issues.
right, right,
um, Hopefully this year the roster's solid. We got enough backups at different positions that if we get the dropsies, hey, you know what? You're benched for a few games,
right,
safety cornerbacks, that kind of thing. Hey, you're not doing a good job. Put the rookie in, there's depth, I think, around the Chiefs. And I think that's what Beach and Reed always work on is next man up. You know, I like our depth on the team. Again, I don't know every player, just like you don't.
right.
But I'm gonna stand by what we always say on the show. In Beach, we trust. I mean, he
Absolutely,
knows. He and
absolutely.
Andy Reid know what's going on and who can fill in for who. Injuries are going to happen as part of the game.
Yeah,
You got to have a deep enough roster to get over it. And we had a deep enough roster last year, barely. And again, I say it again, we limped into the playoffs. But you know what? In the playoffs, the Chiefs are a whole different machine.
oh, absolutely.
I don't know what it is, but man, they just. Uh, I won so many pools and so much money in the playoffs because everyone was betting against the Chiefs because we're not going to win on the road. Well,
Right,
we won on the road. We're not going to beat this team. They're just too good. Well, guess what? We beat that. I mean, I see that happening again. We're not going to have a perfect season.
oh no,
we're going to get beat out by a scrub team. We're going to get beat down by a good team. It's going to happen. But they got the right players at the right positions with the right coach with the right mentality
Right.
to three-peat this son of a bitch and put this behind us and put it in the record books because it's never been done, but it's gonna happen.
Looking forward to it. A couple of notes, a couple of on notes of roster cuts. Nico Romero, wide receiver, generic Prince, Louis Rees Zamet, which really actually does a little bit surprise me because I thought they were going to keep him as a punt and kick returner.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I really thought that
I
that's
think
what going to put him at, but
I think he's going to be on the practice squad. Is my gut feeling if he clears waivers.
Absolutely, because
I
I think they want to still mold him a little bit more.
yeah.
I think they still want to work with him, and
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. Irv Smith, who we picked up from, I can't remember where we picked him up from, but uh, they let him go. Justin Ross, Kadarius Toney, Miles Battle, and the list goes on. There's a bunch of names that nobody's ever heard of on here too.
Well, I
But
wish
yeah.
everyone the best that left, but man, some people just had to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. We talked about this last year when we got into this when we got into this section where it's like it's so tough to decide how many, you got all these great wide receivers who you're going to keep, and then you let some of them go, and then you wish you had kept some of them. But I think the wide receiver core we got right now is going to be pretty talented, and I think they can all catch balls. So we know Rashid Rice
Yeah.
can. We watched him do it last year as a rookie.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So. Um,
Oh, he can't do it from a jail cell, so hopefully he keeps his
That's
note.
true. Yeah,
Keep
keep your
your
shit clean.
keep your nose clean.
Yeah,
You know.
keep your shit clean. All right, so next week when we come back, we are going to go over the schedule. We'll kind of make some loose predictions of what we think, and we'll kind of go from there. We don't really have anything set in stone, except I want to bring a new segment to end the show, and that is called "Where Are They Now?" Let's face
No,
it.
I have no friggin' clue what you're talking about. You didn't let me in on this
No,
action.
I know. I'm making this shit up as I go. I've been thinking about it for a couple of weeks, and this is
Okay.
I'm thinking this might be fun. So listen, man, you and me have been Chiefs fans for a long time. You've got close to 50 years. I'm running right around 30 years. As Kansas City Chiefs fans, we've seen players come and we've seen players go.
Mm-hmm.
We've had obviously we've had some of our favorites over the years. We've had ones that we can't fucking believe were ever on the team. In your case, it would be Dwayne Bowe. You can never.
Blows.
So I
Hey,
want to
can I
do.
say one last hold on before you move on?
Yeah.
On the Chiefs bid site, they keep on trying to pawn off this Dwayne Bowe gear. And
Yeah.
I swear to God, I don't think anything's ever gotten over $50.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Um,
I was gonna buy you one and
it,
send it to your house.
so, and 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 I told Jeremy this. He knows. I told him I'm gonna buy something that's like $25, and then I'm just gonna webcast me burning the fucking thing. Anyway, go ahead.
All
Sorry.
right. Well, this former professional American football wide receiver played in Kansas City and he played in the San Diego Chargers, um, and the Los Angeles Pose of the Canadian Football League. He was in Kansas City from 1995 to 1999. Obviously, finished his career off in San Diego in 2002. He spent 2 seasons at Florida State and was named first All American in 1992. This player, in his 5 year stint at the Chiefs, played 70 games, caught 39 passes for 564 yards, rushed for 88 yards, returned 181 punts for 1,930 yards, which is an average of 10.2, and with four of those being touchdowns.
So it's
Listen,
not Dante Hall.
it's not Dante Hall. Threw you for a loop on that one, though, didn't I? Yeah. Listen, his off the field issues is what really plagued him as he finished off his seasons. He
Oh.
actually spent some time in jail over some federal investigations into drug trafficking and stolen vehicle rings. Um, Yeah, his life didn't actually go after his NFL career didn't exactly go according to what you would hope to
Yeah.
fall into. Uh, the last thing that I ran across was he was still being indicted in 2020 over some criminal charges, which breaks my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite players to play in Kansas City in the late 90s. We're talking about Tamarick Vanover.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that guy. You're right. No, you're right. Dead on.
He actually wore the number 87 before Kelsey got to it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I forgot about him. And the odd thing, the reason why I mentioned Dante Hall was we're in Kansas City this weekend, and he was over. We happened to show up at this area to do some shopping, and they had all these boutique people. Everyone was outside selling shit,
Uh-huh.
and it was all Chiefs. Everyone had their Chiefs shit on. I'm like, what the hell did we miss? And they're like, oh, Dante Hall was here for 2.5 hours signing autographs. So it's just kind of funny that you start when you got into the he ran back kick returns. I'm like, is it Dante Hall? Then you said 4 touchdowns. I'm like, no, it's
No,
not Dante Hall.
no,
Not enough
Hall had,
touchdowns.
yeah, Hall had many more than that. Uh,
Vanover, man.
yep,
Man, that's
Tamarick
a
Vanover.
blast to the past.
That's why I want to. That's why I want to do this segment at the end of the
Okay.
show, just for a little bit of fun. I'll dig through some rosters and bring out some names that you haven't thought of in a long time. And Tamarick is
Right.
one of them. Tamarick Vanover. I remember him being one of my favorites
Yeah.
back in
Well,
the day. So
the fun thing will be, can I guess at least three through the entire podcast season? That's my
hey,
goal, is to
all
guess three.
right. All right. I'll try not to make them too hard, but yeah, it'll be fun. It'll
Okay,
be a
I'm
good
down with
time.
that.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Indiana Chiefs fans. It's so much appreciated. And we hope that you're enjoying the new Seasons in Hell Sports Network with us, the Indiana Chiefs fans, and the Gridiron Kings coming to you as you finish your week off on Thursdays and Fridays. Um, it's a lot of fun. We're still building the Gridiron Kings, so uh, they're doing a great job so far, but we got a few tweaks to make, and we're gonna make that one of the top podcasts going on. So, uh, we hope, man, it's NFL season, people. Fucking go buy your jerseys. I got my beautiful Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl jersey. The cheapest supporting his Indiana Chiefs fans podcast shirt, which you can get at goldenmojoent.com. And just look for it in the store. I got a couple of versions of it. We got the Run Angry version of it.
Yeah.
A salute to Isaiah Pacheco, um, or as we like to call him, Pikachu. And I know that the coach likes to support his Run Angry shirt. So go check that out,
Nice.
and go check out all the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Empire. If you don't know what they are by now, then you haven't been listening. So crawl out from underneath that rock and go check out goldenmojoent.com. All right, Chief, I'm out. Until next week, buddy.
What happened to the
Oh,
your
man.
typical ending there?
God.
What the hell?
From
Has
our,
it been that long?
it has been that long. It has been that long. All right. Let's see. Hold on. From our little slice of Chiefs Kingdom right here in the great state of Indiana, I just got one question for you. How about those Chiefs? Later.
Later. Dude, that was hilarious. You're
My
closing
bad.
down the show without doing your ending mantra.
I do so many
That's your
podcasts,
thing.
I lose them all.
Yeah, and this is like the warm up.
That's right.
Thank you for listening to the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Podbean, any of your favorite podcast sites. Be sure to watch us on YouTube. Just search for the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast. Also, check us out on Facebook for any updates on the Chiefs and all of our weekly posts. You can find us at facebook.com/INChiefsFansPod. Finally, go check out our Golden Mojo Entertainment website at goldenmojoent.com. You can find information about your 3 favorite hosts and all the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment family. Those podcasts include The Call Guys, Golden Image Podcast, The United States of Paranormal, The Golden 80s Podcast, The Murdnerds, and A Court of Books and Booze. Thank you for tuning in, and how about those Chiefs?